Ladies and gentlemen, today men and women of the Armed Forces pay special tribute to Major General Michael A. Loh on the occasion of his promotion and transition of responsibility as the Director, Air National Guard. The presiding official for today's ceremony is General Joseph L. Lingell, Chief, National Guard Bureau. The ceremony will begin shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for the playing of musical honors and the national anthem, followed by the invocation given by Chaplain Michael A. Sproul.
Please join with me as I pray. Lord, we come before you today as a grateful people, grateful for your blessing on our nation. We thank you that you have given us generations of families that have protected our nation from our enemies. Today, Lord, I ask your continued blessing on one such family. We celebrate today both Mrs. Barbara Loh and Mrs. Diane Loh. We thank you for their love and devotion to our country. We know that spouses are the bedrock of our military. We thank you for these women who have been willing to answer the call to our nation as much as their husbands. We also thank you for their children, Heather and Mike, as he also continues the family tradition of service before self, flying with the 355th. God, may you honor General Loh for his faithfulness to our nation. As he assumes this new role, may you grant him the wisdom that you gave Solomon, the warrior spirit that you gave to David, and the patience that you gave to Job. For certainly the responsibility you have chosen for him is great. Give him your spirit above measure as he leads our Air National Guard. We pray all these things in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Sproul. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated for those that have seats. Sharing this special occasion today are many family, friends, and special guests. We are extremely honored to have in attendance Major General Loh's family, which includes his wife, Mrs. Diane Loh, his daughter, Miss Heather Loh, her significant other, Mr. Doug Wilkins, his parents, General Retired Mike and Barbara Loh. Major General Loh would also like to welcome our special guests. Mrs. Barbara Barrett, Secretary of the Air Force. Mrs. Sally Lengel, wife of General Lengel. Lieutenant General Daniel Hokanson, Director, Army National Guard, and his wife, Kelly Hokanson. Lieutenant General Retired Mike and Amy Doobie. We would like to thank all other general officers, senior executives, friends, and colleagues, as well as acknowledge all who have attended with there not have been COVID restrictions. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce to you the presiding official of today's ceremony, General Lengel, Chief of the National Guard Bureau.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. What a great day this is for the Loh family, and for the Air National Guard, for the United States Air Force, for the National Guard Bureau. I could not be more proud or honored to do this today for my good friend Mike Loh. Let me just echo a couple of words to our honored guest, Secretary Barrett. Thank you. It's great to have you here with us as Secretary of the Air Force. And as I've mentioned to you before, as the total force, as a service, I am so proud of what we have become. And I believe one service, three components. It is the most innovative. It is the most ready. It is the most combat capability, 21st century force in the world. And,
just the way I scripted it.
Just the way we did it. And we continue to make it better. Thank you. I want to recognize my wife. There's many things Mike and I have in common. We both think our wives are the most beautiful women in the world. And I want to thank Sally for being here with me to see this off. And Team Loh, as Mike and Diane come in and do this. It's a great honor to see our friends do that. Very happy to see my successor, General soon-to-be Dan Hokanson and his wife Kelly, part of your team here, forming up here in this last week as transitions go. That we're moving on to all the many other friends, famous people from Colorado, good friends from a long time ago, and people that have made the Air Force and the Air National Guard a great organization. Let me start over here first to General and Mrs. Loh. Thank you, sir and ma'am, for this great airman and your grandson, who happens to be flying with my son in Aviano right now. Both F-16 pilots. Mike and I have many other things in common. Both fathers were fighter pilots. Mine wasn't a 4-star general, but we both got in the Guard at the same time. And I hope this isn't rubbing anybody wrong. I often wonder how that conversation went when your dad's the TAC commander, the tactical air command commander, and you're saying, Dad, I'm going to transition into the Guard. How'd that go, sir? I'd love to hear that. So most of us have to tell our wing commander, our group commander, but not the tactical air combat command commander, and make that announcement. But you come clean, and it worked out good for you, Mike. I'm very, very proud. But thanks, and Heather, great to see you. And I wish your brother was here with us. And Doug, great that you're here with him. He's watching?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. MJ over there.
Yeah.
What a small world, isn't it? That my son Michael and your son MJ are flying F-16s together in Aviano, and hopefully we can get over there and visit them. This COVID thing will all pass here shortly, and we can back over there. And Diane, thank you, and to all the spouses in this room. Because this is a team sport. We all know it's a team sport. You get protocol to do things. You get a driver to do things. You get an assistant to help you do things, as do I. She's going to represent you and talk to airmen and families and their spouses. She gets none of that. So we couldn't be more grateful for your willingness to. It's a 2-for-1 deal. We know that. Not only do they endure the missed anniversaries and birthdays and everything else, and there's going to be more now, and so I just thank you so much. I'm glad you guys got to go hike around the mountains in Colorado, because it probably won't happen again for a little while as we watch all those things. But what a great day. I want to talk about this guy now here just for a minute. So I'm about 2 assignments older than this General Loh, So I was just kind of a little bit ahead of them, but we ended up showing up at ramps in Germany at about the same time. Air Force Academy grad. I went to North Texas, University of North Texas, just not quite up there with the Air Force Academy, but worked out for me nonetheless. And Shepard, everybody wanted to go to NJEP and do all that, and then MacDill. You and I had MacDill in common as well, and then over to Hahn, and I went to Ramstein. And so we were over there same time, and raging around in a place that was a great place to fly fighters in the mid-'80s. It was back the last time we were in a pure competition, which we're in right now, with a pure competitor, and we've seen this happen before. And raging around, what a great place to fly. VFR everywhere except Frankfurt and Munich, and anywhere below 10,000 feet. All the low-fly zones were great. Peanut Hill was a little hill located in low-fly 7 that was manned 24 hours a day, just waiting for somebody to try and come and find them and see if you could sneak up on them and attack them. All within appropriate RE and all the rest of that stuff. It was all good. It was a great place to go, great place to live, great place to be a fighter pilot, great place to be in the Air Force. We all made friends that many of them are still here and we keep in touch with. That's really what it's about. I mean, you and I got in this business probably because we wanted to fly fighters. That's what we wanted. That's what I wanted to do. I mean, I wanted to fly fighter airplanes, and long ago the Air Force stopped letting me do that. But we stayed in it because we got to work with all the people we met and worked with and served with and went around the world and did things for our nation, and we did those things, and we liked it. And we determined that, well, we got into fly fighters. We mostly stayed in because it was about the mission, it was about the people, it was about a common desire to serve other things. We just found joy in that. And I think you went back and went to, I think it was Luke, right? You went back to Luke. And then in '91, one more time, you and I both transitioned into the National Guard. And I won't belabor the fact of the National Guard. It was a good organization back in 1991. It was didn't have as much new, and although there were new F-16s, that was kind of the beginning of where we were going here with making us part of this operational force that we are now. And commanded at every level, did everything they asked you, multiple deployments, multiple to the Pacific, to the Middle East. You did everything that we could have asked you to do, and you did it magnificently. And then at the higher levels, you kind of worked as assistant to the Chief of Staff of the Air Force. You worked to the military assistant to the commander of NORAD. I know that you're COMAC's right-hand man, all things National Guard. And then became the Adjutant General of Colorado, great state of Colorado, and just flourished there. You replaced a good friend of ours over here in the corner, and I think I was out there with you just not a month ago in the governor's office, and I saw all the other things, warfight, homeland, partnerships. Those are the three things that we do. We say we do. Warfight's been ongoing every day. Our National Guard and our Air Force has been at war since 1991. We've flown a combat sortie somewhere in the world every day since that day. And who would have thought that? I mean, when you and I transitioned after the Gulf War there, would have thought, it's over, we missed it. I mean, that was the one, and it was a continuous role of combat operations beyond that. And then, the homeland piece, as we see every day, and I saw last week, as your guys are saving people's lives and running food banks and doing testing, and you kind of trademarked how to do this testing for the National Guard and spread that around the other 54, and you did that. And then the partnerships, as I think everybody knows, the state partnership, yours with Slovenia and Jordan, have been a trademark and a benchmark for 85 now partnerships as you come in. And all of your fellow air chiefs will want to talk about the state partnership and what we can do to do that better. And it's been an amazing ride, and I just am so glad that as this Air Force now, as we look into the future and the National Defense Strategy and what we have to do and taking care of our airmen, I think that we're better now than not just the Air Force that you and I joined, but the Guard that you and I joined. It's more professional, it's more fit, it's more ready. It is just a different force. The people are the same, but we're just a different way of doing training and business, and the Air Force relies on us more than they ever have. I tell people that General Goldfein has 56 fighter squadrons, and we're 21 of them in the National Guard. 21 of the 56 fighter squadrons. And on the Army side, the Army's got 57 brigade combat teams, and we're 28 of them. And I just think that the combat power in the National Guard is an amazing thing. And I think we're an enabler for the National Defense Strategy. And Mike, under your leadership, I just know that you're going to continue to build on what Scott Rice did. We tried to do this ceremony several months ago. Scott Rice was going to retire at the beginning of May. It couldn't work. He ended up staying longer, and then we got slipped it to June, and then we slipped it to the end of June, then we slipped to the first week of July. And there's two things you can't rush: Mother Nature and the United States Congress. You can't rush either one of those things. And so time being what it is, you and I are still young, and it was we're no worse off for having waited for this length. But I couldn't be more proud, more happy to, one, promote you today, and two, to watch you ascend to lead the Air National Guard in 2020. And goodness gracious, I hope things calm down just a little bit for you here going to the second half of 2020. But I don't think they're gonna. I just don't think. You read the paper, it's Iran, it's China, it's North Korea, whatever it is, we will be there. And all I know is that under your leadership, that of General Hokanson, we will be always ready and always there. So let's make this official and promote General Loh.
Thank you, General Engel. Major General Loh. Okay, you're all set.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Publish the order.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Attention to orders. Special Order Number M-203-20-01. The President of the United States, acting upon recommendation of the Secretary of the Air Force, has placed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, integrity, and abilities of Major General Michael Loh. In view of these special qualities and his demonstrated potential to serve in the higher grade, Major General Michael Loh is promoted to the grade of Lieutenant General, United States Air Force, effective 21 July 2020 by order of the Secretaries of the Army and the Air Force. General. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
All of us?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, General, I gotta keep you up. Here we go. Would Mrs. Loh and Heather please come forward and join Lieutenant General Loh for the pinning of the insignia? And General Loh, probably help your wife out by stepping down, sir.
She just said it's my eyesight.
Thank you, Mrs. Loh and Heather. General Engel, please join Lieutenant General Loh. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. General Engel will now administer the oath of office.
Please repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Michael Anthony Loh,
Having been appointed a Lieutenant General in the United States Air Force,
having been appointed a Lieutenant General in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
I bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
I bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
I take this obligation freely,
I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and I will well and faithfully
and I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Well done, brother.
Thank you, sir.
The whole handshake. I just missed the whole handshake thing.
Thank you, General Engel.
Okay.
We will now post Lieutenant General Loh's personal colors. Throughout the history of warfare, a general officer's personal flag symbolized leadership on the battlefield. The Air Force has incorporated the use of flags to signify the presence of a general officer. The flag is visibly displayed in the office of the general officer. To commemorate his promotion to Lieutenant General in the United States Air Force, we will now post Lieutenant General Loh's 3-star flag. General Engel will now join Lieutenant General Loh for the transition of responsibility ceremony as he publishes the transition order.
Publish the order.
The transition of responsibility ceremony serves to provide official recognition of the incoming Director, Air National Guard. The organizational flag of the Air National Guard will be posted as a symbol of the responsibility and leadership that is transferred to and assumed by the new Director. Under the provisions of Special Order GOM-120-160-01, Lieutenant General Michael Loh assumes responsibility as Director, Air National Guard, effective 21 July 2020. General Center.
Sir, I assume responsibility.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Great.
Thank you, General Engel, General Loh, and Chief Master Sergeant Bluto. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to present to you Lieutenant General Loh, Director, Air National Guard.
Thank you. And wow, what a day. We sure do live in interesting times. Secretary Barrett, ma'am, I know you are extremely busy. And it really means a lot to both myself and our family. First off, for hiring me, ma'am, and then the next thing for taking care of our airmen. Your leadership of both the Air and Space Forces is spectacular, and I look forward to working with you and for you. Thank you.
And I back.
General Engel, woo, Chief number 28, on your last full day, or last full week of work up here. So thanks for officiating today's ceremony, but more importantly, both for you and Sally, thanks for almost 4 decades of dedicated service to our nation. You've really set the stage, and your joint leadership has been spectacular. And sir, you're right, we've been together. We've been together with the best of times and also some trying times. And especially this year, as we've had global pandemic, civil unrest, overseas operations, and then of course, even this last weekend, a couple of hurricanes and fire support. It just keeps rolling. And you're absolutely right. Warfight, homeland, partnerships. You've set us apart. It's been absolutely wonderful. One more week to go. And from all of us, thanks for your leadership.
Thanks, Mike.
You bet. General Hoganson and Kelly, thank you so much for being here. I really, really look forward to next week. Chief National Guard Drill number 29, sir. Yep. It's a spectacular thing. Thanks for both your friendship and your leadership for us. And then also, thanks for producing those 3 service member kids. Especially one, that's an airman. All right. Boy, to my office staff. The office of the Director, Air National Guard. We call it, oh, dang. My office staff has gone through huge transitions. We had to say goodbye to Scott and Nancy Rice. Had to say goodbye to Kirk and Christy Pierce. Just a few days ago, they got Diane and I in. And then right after that, the new Deputy Director, Major General Don Deskins and Tony. I'm going to say it this way. You all have hit it out of the park. Transitioning people out and transitioning people in, and 4 of us all at the same time. You all have been wonderful. Thank you very, very much. And then, Chief, we can't have this ceremony with all the COVID precautions and everything else without a wonderful protocol and public affairs team. So let's give them a huge round of applause. Okay, I know there's a lot of people that wanted to be here, so for the audience that is watching, to all former directors, deputy directors, and command chiefs, we wish you were here. Please know that our team is going to reach out to you shortly, and we're going to get together virtually. And I'm going to pass on some current information, and then we're going to listen. And you all have set a legacy of excellence. And it now falls upon our shoulders to maintain those high standards. Thank you. Our adjutants general of the 54, whose forces currently are globally engaged. Thanks for your command and leadership of our Air Force Airmen. I know firsthand the amount of work you put in, especially during these challenging times. Please know that we up here work just as hard to get you the equipment, the resources, and the policies so you can be successful. You know our team is always available, and I look forward to our continued partnerships. And to the most important, to our great National Guard Airmen, continue that operational mission focus. As Guard members, you are always ready and always there. 2020 has been especially challenging. Global pandemic, continuity of operations efforts, civil unrest operations, hurricanes, fire support, while also being deployed overseas into combat, conducting homeland defense, and somehow still, during all that, maintaining those 85 strategic international partnerships. You are truly amazing. Please know that Diane and I thank not only you, but your families, your friends, and your employers. Your families, friends, and employers are absolutely woven into the fabric of our national defense. Please thank them for us. Folks, the Air National Guard is very special, and we are part of the greatest Air Force in the world. You all deliver airspace and cyber power as a profession. But we only stay the greatest Air Force in the world through your hard work. We greatly appreciate your continued excellence and your unwavering commitment. Keep up the great work. I'll end with families and friends, because there's a lot of them around here. Now, I know many of you could not be here today, but to our friends present, you represent all the friends who our family has called on many times, day or night, 24/7, and would drop everything to come to our aid. Representing my USAFA classmates, 84 Wings to Soar, I have Sean and Judy Pavlich. Pav and I flew Vipers together for over 2 decades. We were a lethal pair. Thanks for being here. And then Dean and Denise McDavid. Dean brought us into the Guard. And so Dean taught the family how to balance Air Force, family, and employer. Thanks also for being here. And my 2 former commanders. First, I'm going to start with Mike and Lori Edwards. Farmer. Farmer brought me into the Guard, into A-Flight as a flight commander. And then he went on to be the Adjutant General. And it was he, both of you actually, that supported our family through all this and showed some potential in me and pushed me along and told me, hey Mike, it's time to grow up. You got to give up flying. I need to get you on the staff. And you sent me right here for my first staff job. Farmer, thanks. And then Lieutenant General Mike and Amy Doobie. We had a great time defending North America with our Canadian partners, our nation's only binational command. Thanks for dropping everything to come down here. And also thanks because I know in your state, you're going to have to quarantine when you go back. It really does mean a lot. And finally, to the Loh clan. Our family, our Air Force journey all started in 1956 as John Loh and Bill Kornitzer entered the United States Air Force Academy in the class of 1960. Newly secundus, second to none. And they were classmates. And Bill happened to set up his sister with John, and they happened to become mom and dad. Now, Uncle Bill was an airlifter and a special operator. His feats are memorialized at SOCOM's Hall of Heroes. And of course, Dad became the father of Air Combat Command. So John and Barbara and Bill and Jane produced kids who became airmen. And those kids produced kids who became airmen. Today, in the active duty Air Force and the Air National Guard, the Lohs and Kornitzers can train you, supply you, conduct global intelligence operations, global logistics, aerial refueling, shoot you out of the sky, and put bombs on target. And oh yeah, maybe do a little bit of staff work. Air Force Blue runs in our veins. Thanks to all the family members who made it here today. And finally, hey, Mom and Dad, thanks for raising me in this wonderful Air Force family. Now, truth be told, I think when I went off to the Air Force Academy, Dad never expected me to make it through. And Mom never stopped praying. Well, Mom, your prayers have been answered. Really, thank you for all your love and support. And our youngest son, as you heard, is not here. He's over there at Aviano flying with Mike. Well, nickel new guy, Captain Mike Loh, would have to be quarantined for a minimum of 28 days. We don't need him doing that. We need him maintaining mission-ready status as an F-16 fighter pilot at Aviano. And then Heather. Really, the brains, maybe the beauty of the family too. Her work hasn't stopped. Matter of fact, it's gotten busier with COVID. And as a Price Waterhouse senior manager, thank you very much for taking the time, flying halfway around the country to be here, and thanks for your unwavering support. And now, Doug, kind of been around long enough, you're kind of part of the family, but there's my friends behind you. They're going to probably ask about your intentions a little bit later. And finally, to Diane, absolutely the very best. You've been together with me for this entire journey. You're the best Air Force spouse. Thank you for your love and support, because without the service and sacrifice you've done, we wouldn't be this successful. Honey, I love you. I am truly humbled and honored by this opportunity. Go Guard, go Air Force. Thank you.